The newest season of Delta Force introduced 3 new weapons: the QCQ171 SMG, the QJB201 LMG, and the SR9 marksman rifle. But the thing is, none of these weapons are very good. Firstly, let's compare the QCQ171 SMG to the Vector, which is another SMG that is simply just better in pretty much every single way, and I am going to be showing that here. So I have fully customized this gun for control and also fire rate so that I can, have relatively stable aim while also being able to get the maximum time to kill on people. And this gun has a bolt on it that you can kind of customize. So I can either go for like extra control and stability and all of that kind of stuff, or I can go for fire rate, and obviously having a faster fire rate is going to increase the time to kill, so I have gone for that. And everything else in the gun is all just for control. All of these patches are for control. This foregrip is for control. The muzzle is for control, and so on. This is all for control, and this is just what all of the attachments are if you want to see it here. And the fire rate ends up being 848, and the control pattern is going to look like this. So it's really just not that stable. And I'm going to compare this to the Vector that I've been using. Well, like if I want an SMG in a raid, I will just bring this Vector in because it's very good. The fire rate on this is 1091, so much faster fire rate, and it has 77 control with this pattern, which is obviously much better and much easier. So like, this has a higher fire rate and therefore a higher time to kill. I actually don't know the damage. This is 32 damage and the QCQ does 36 damage. So a tiny bit more damage, but it's really not going to matter that much because the fire rate is way lower. So let's actually test these guns out. Let's put a little bit of green ammo. No, I don't want the usage. I want to equip it. Let's put green ammo on both of these, and then we'll just put you on like 800 HP with blue armor, just so that we're going to be able to test it the most, I would see, in which one actually has a faster fire rate. So first up is the QCQ, and we're going to see how it does. I'm going to reset this, which is O, and then we're going to see the time to kill in the top left. So that took 1.63 seconds, and now we're going to try and do it with the Vector, and this takes 1.48 seconds. So it's a better time to kill. Maybe not by a whole lot, but it is a better time to kill. And just in case, you want it on like a more normal person, we can just do it like that, actually. And the Vector is going to be, let's see, 0.12 seconds. And then this gun is going to be 0.13 seconds. So both when it's got like a lot of health and a bit of armor, and when it's got like no armor and a little bit of health, the Vector is faster in both of these situations, which means the Vector does just have a faster time to kill. Maybe against something very specific, like, if I put these on like 200 HP and like with purple armor or something, maybe for some reason a very specific amount of HP, the Vector would be better. But I've just shown the lowest HP and like the highest HP. The Vector wins both of those time to kill wise, and it has better control. And again, just to reiterate, like, the Vector has faster time to kills, and also the control pattern on the Vector, as you can see, is just much more straightforward. It's just like much more of a straight line, which obviously makes it easier to control as well. So, and then I guess we can also compare the price. That's probably the last thing. How do we see the price? This is 518,000, and this one is 465,000, so relatively close by. I mean, I didn't put any lasers or anything on this, but if I put the lasers on, then this would probably be a similar price to the Vector. So it's like a tiny bit cheaper, but also the difference between 460k and like 510k is really not that different, right? It's not going to be the difference maker between both of the guns. So this is a gun that is simply outclassed in pretty much every single way by the Vector. Now, there is a different way I can go, right? Because obviously I've done this for control, right? This is like the control build for this gun, but I'm going to make a different build, which is going to be like a really fast handling and maybe a little bit like quite high accuracy build as well. And then I'll do the same thing for the Vector, and then I will get back to you. So now I've made a loadout for the Vector, which I guess I can show. I've made a loadout for the Vector. which looks like this, and also a loadout for the QCQ171. And both of these are focused on handling. So I've got 70 handling and 58 accuracy on this gun. And on this one, I've got 78 handling and 84 accuracy. The Vector costs 400,000 and the QCQ costs 356,000. Again, a little bit lower, but it's not really going to be the difference maker. Like 50k, once you're already spending 400k on the gun, is not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll go with that, or like, oh no, that's too expensive. You know, that's not going to be the difference maker between being too expensive or not. And this is not a good gun because I can't really kill anyone at range. There's the auto. So very, very shaky, and it's going to be very shaky on both of the guns. The QCQ more so. But this is going to be a weapon that you are going to be using at close range, right? This is like, aim down the sights quickly, maybe around, jump, peek around the corner, try and take someone out quickly, something like that. And we're going to see how each of these perform. The time to kill is obviously going to be the same, so there's no point in testing that. All I can look at is the kind of the control we have on both of the weapons, even though I haven't focused on control. I guess we can look at the handling as well. So the ADS speed on the, I think this is the Vector, is 233. I think it's 233 on the Vector. And on this, it is the moment of truth. I don't even know what this is going to be. 321. So much faster. Much. Well, maybe it's 239. Let's say it's 239 on this, because maybe the second value is more accurate. And it's still faster on the Vector. So even if you want to customize this thing for handling and for accuracy, the Vector is still better. I mean, I think you can also visually see that if you just look at my crosshair, like the size of the crosshair for anyone that doesn't know is the accuracy. The size of the crosshair on the Vector is much smaller than the size of the crosshair on the QCQ, meaning the Vector has better accuracy and better handling than the QCQ, if you want to go that way. So if you go the control way, the Vector is better, and if you want to go the handling way, the Vector is also better. And all of this means that the QCQ is essentially like an utterly and completely and entirely pointless weapon. Now, what you can do, so we've gone for the handling route, we've gone for the control route, both with the fast time to kills, and now you can also go for the control with the slower fire rate, because there's a bolt here again that's got a slower fire rate on it, but you get some firing camera stability, you get some weapon stability, you get some range, you get some control, and you get some stability. So you can try and turn this thing into an AR, which is what I'm going to do now, and then we're still going to be comparing it to the Vector. So now we're going to test the Vector with good control against the QCQ with like the maximized control, but the slower fire rate, and see if it is better. So first up, the Vector. This guy has 100 HP with blue armor, and I guess maybe we'll use some green ammo on both of them just to speed things up a little bit, and we'll see how this does. I'm going to do point blank range first, and then maybe I'll do it a little bit further away, but at least like this I'm not going to be missing any shots. So the Vector is 0.39 at this range, and the QCQ at this range is 0.52. So say a good bit slower on the QCQ, but then again, it is going to have better range. Let's try about 30 meters. I think, if you're fighting someone 30 meters away with an SMG, you're going to be at a pretty, significant disadvantage, but I reckon it can be done. So maybe I'll bump that down to 25, but we'll see how the Vector does against the QCQ. Right, that was 0.5 seconds, and on this, it is going to be 0.52. So it seems like it's still slower, even at that range. And I'm sure if you go a little bit further to like the 45 meter range or something, I think the QCQ is going to appear better, because you're actually going to be able to aim with it. And with the Vector, I don't think you're really going to be able to aim at this 42 range. I think that was 0.94. I'm just going to do that again because I didn't reset the thing. I didn't reset the timer. I have to wait to hold my breath. There it is. Right, that was 0.94. That was not good, and I think this is going to be easier to aim with now. So it's going to be 0.77. So once you go about, somewhere past, like in between 30 and 45 meters, the QCQ is going to have a very marginally better time to kill, just because it does have better control. So you're actually going to be able to hit your shots at those longer ranges. But at close range, which is where the SMG is supposed to function, the Vector is just going to be better in every single situation you will ever encounter. And if for some reason you want to use a 450k costing SMG at 40-meter ranges, then do feel free to go into the QCQ. But apart from that one very niche scenario, this weapon is not good, and the Vector is going to be better in every other situation. So that's comparing the QCQ. That's me kind of just trash talking it. And now we're going... So the whole point of this video is going to be just to kind of showcase how kind of sucky the new weapons are. And at the end, I'm probably going to say something like, it would be cool if the new weapons they added were, you know, I don't want to say better than the weapons we currently have, but offer a different option to the weapons we currently have. Because, like, right now, the QCQ, you know, if you want an SMG with good recoil, I think the Vityaz is still going to be the best. So, like, QCQ, you're just not going to be going in with that. Or if you want something with good control, that you're going to be using at more than 40-meter ranges, then you use an AR. You use, like, the QBZ or the SG or something like that, you know? If it's a 40-meter range, you want to be using an AR. So... And if someone's got an SMG and you've got the QCQ and you're at a close range, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, you know? So now we're going to test the QJB, rather, I can't read, LMG to the, I think probably the M250. I don't remember which one the good one is. I think the M250 is the good one. So we're going to, I don't know, I'll try this out and then I'll get back to you. So here is the QJB201 LMG loadout, and we're going to be comparing it to the M249 loadout here. This has 98 control, and the pattern looks like this, so kind of veers off to the right. And this has 100 control, or more than 100 control also is possible, and that is what the pattern looks like. So we're going to see which one of these is better, and which one has a faster time to kill. Note on the QJB, I have put this gas block on, which is the kind of stability gas block which decreases the fire rate, and then we're going to try and do it with the faster fire rate and see what happens. So I guess I need the ammo to be the same though, so this has to be purple? No, it does not. We'll just do green on both. Green on both. There we go. And I'll do it against this 100 HP blue guy. So this is the M249. Let's see how it... I'm going to do it closer, actually, so then I don't have to miss shots. So it's just going to be more accurate. Okay, so let's just do it like this. Let's see what's going on. I need to... Well, it's 0.42, but I'm going to do it again just in case I didn't reset it properly. All right, so 0.42 for the M249. And the QJB is... 0.5. So faster time to kill, and now we're going to try and see which one is more stable. So well, I guess I'll just put you at like 40 meters and we'll see if I can kill you with one of these guns. Right, let's try and hit you in the chest. Okay, that's pretty stable. This is pretty stable, and 0.52 still. I don't think I missed a shot. The M249, I mean, it's also fairly stable, and 0.42. What was this one a second ago? Was this also 0.42? No, 0.52. So the time to kill is longer on the QJB. That's what it's called. And I don't think it has enough control to have that much worse of a time to kill, if that makes sense. Because if it's like 0.1 seconds difference in the time to kill with green ammo, it's going to be larger with, you know, blue and purple and gold. Or if like armor, I mean, not the ammo, it's going to be a larger difference between, you know, if someone has blue armor and then purple armor and gold armor, the M249 is going to be better and better and better. If you want to know about the price, this is 424,000 and this is 437,000, so very, very, very similar, so that's not really an issue there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of this gas block, which gives me the nice range and the nice camera stability and all that, I'm going to put on the fire rate. And now what's going to happen is the reverse. I think this is going to be better at close range, and then the M249 is still going to be better at the longer range. So let's bring this guy back here. Let's try it, the M249 on this guy. I think it's still going to be 0.42, but we'll do it again just in case, 0.42, and we'll switch to this. This is now going to be... It's 0.42. Okay, let's put them at the 40-meter range and see how we do. See if it's 0.42. I think it's going to be a little bit longer because I'm not going to be able to aim this too well. It's 0.42, but I did also headshot them, so we'll try with this. Okay, well now it's just exactly the same apparently. But which one is easier to control? This is the QJB. Well, I guess we could also look at some other stats. This is the QJB with that, a little bit off to the left, and I think this is going to be more centralized before the V. Yeah, so I think the M249 is easier to control. I actually also haven't modified this in a while, so again, there might be some better attachments at this point. Maybe my knowledge of the attachments has increased somewhat. But I mean, like, even if the M249 isn't better, the QJB just isn't doing anything here. You know, like, we have the M249 in the game already, which is already, like, I think it's the only LMG. It's definitely one of the only LMGs that you can put a smaller mag on. So I've got a 30-round mag on this. So the QJB being able to do that didn't add in anything new. I can do 30, 45, or 60-round mag, and that didn't add in anything new. So this is like an extremely similar weapon to the M249. And I think if you add two weapons that are extremely similar, then there's just not much point in adding the weapons. This does 30 damage, this does 32, this has 52 range, this has 52, handling 44. Well, that's all going to be different depending on the stats. So I really just don't think it's like when you add when you add new weapons to a game, you want the weapons to add, you know, differences. You want the weapons to feel good and different and unique is the word I'm looking for to use. And the SMG, the newest SMG, didn't do that because we already had the Vector. The QJB didn't do that because we already had the M249. And now we're going to come on to the marksman rifle, which is the SR9, and we're going to be comparing that to what's the best marksman rifle in the game. I think it's the SVD. I'll just quickly have a little look, and then I'll probably also customize these weapons up, and then I'll get back to you. So here is the SR9 marksman rifle. This is 77 control, and it costs 345,000. The SVD has 89 control, and it costs 483,000. I just forgot what this costed, so I'm just going to double check. 345. So the SVD rather is 100,000 more expensive, but again, 300,000 to 400,000 really isn't that much of a jump up. These are all the attachments just in case you want to have a look, and these are all the attachments on this just in case you want to have a look. So first up is going to be the time to kill. As per usual, both of these are using blue ammo, so I am going to bop you up to purple armor, just because I like the armor being one level above the ammo, because I feel like that's the more realistic scenario that you're going to be up against. So gonna shoot as fast as I possibly can, try and hit in the chest every single time, and just see what the time to kill is. This is 0.87, and we'll switch to the SR9, and this is 1.01, so a much longer time to kill for the SR9. And let's just have a look at the control pattern. So this one goes up a little bit and then very left, and the SVD goes up a little bit and then very left. So pretty similar control pattern. The SVD does have better stability. That's it. Yeah, the SVD has much better stability, even though I only modified it for control. The stability just happened to come with it. So if I just aim down the sights here at this guy, without holding my breath, this doesn't move around a whole lot. And this one, oh, that just doesn't move. This is way more stable. This is like, I'm not holding my breath right now, and it's like barely moving. So this is very good stability on top of the control. And I'll put them in like 40 meters and try and shoot as fast as I can. Just see if that's going to make any difference at the time to kill. So this is the SVD. 0.88. I'm just going to do that again, try and shoot a little bit faster if I can. You know, 0.88, that seems to be what it is. And I'll do it with the SR9. See if this is faster. 1.01. So this just has less stability, like the same recoil, and then also a worse time to kill. So, like, what's the point? Now, there is one thing here that I can change, which is the trigger, but this gives you better fire rate, and it's already on. So if you took this off, I'm sure you'd have better stability, but you'd have a worse fire rate, and therefore an even worse time to kill than what is currently on the weapon, which is not what you want. And marksman rifles in this game in general, for operations, suck. Marksman rifles are not a good option. Just bring in an AR, especially if these things are costing you 483,000. Like, just bring in an SG or a QBZ or a Scar H, something like that, and you're going to have a much nicer, much happier time staying alive in operations mode with any type of AR or SMG than you would with a marksman rifle. Marksman rifles are probably the worst gun in this game. Shotguns are rough sometimes, but I think the marksman rifles take the cake for the worst thing you can go into a match with in 99% of situations. Snipers kind of aren't good either, but I mean, they have their uses, especially if it's an AMW. So, the point of making this video, the entire point of all of my rambling, has been to kind of, like, compare the new weapons and show off the new weapons and compare them to kind of the best weapon in each class of the weapons that we already had. So, you know, obviously comparing the LMG, the QJB to the M250 to the M249, then comparing the QCQ to the Vector, and then lastly comparing the SR9 to the SVD. The SVD is better than the SR9 because it has a better time to kill. The QJB is better than the M249. Sorry, I think I said that wrong. The SVD is better than the SR9 because it has better time to kill. The M249 is better than the QJB because it's like, well, I actually don't know if this one was better, but it was like extremely similar. I'm pretty sure the M249 had a faster time to kill though, and like everything else was similar. And then the Vector is just like by far the better pick over the QCQ in like 99% of instances. If for some reason you want to be using an SMG at 40 meters, then I suppose the QCQ is going to be for you. So the whole point of this video was to talk about all of the new weapons and all of that, but also to say, if new guns are added in the future, I think they should offer something different, because we currently don't have that in the game. And what I would really like, which is something that currently does not exist, is a gun that takes like maybe something crazy, maybe like 1.5, like let's say this takes 1.01 seconds to kill this guy, right? Let's say that's the time to kill. I want a weapon that takes maybe 1.5 seconds to kill this person, but it's like 100% stable. I can modify it to be 100% stable so that this doesn't move, and I can modify it so that it's got like 0 recoil. Because right now in the game, there are no guns that have 0 recoil. That is not possible to find in this game. The closest I have come to finding a gun in this game that does not have 0 recoil is this 93R, and this is what it looks like. I am not moving my mouse. At no point in this shooting am I moving my mouse. I'm just holding my breath and firing, and like every single shot is hitting me. What's the accuracy is 82% there at 40 meters with a pistol. This is the closest I found in this game to a gun not having any recoil. And the point of saying that is, like, there's no marksman rifle that doesn't have recoil, right? Well, maybe there is. I don't know, because I don't use marksman rifles that much. But there's definitely no LMG that has no recoil, and there's definitely no SMG that has no recoil. So instead of adding something like the QCQ, which is extraordinarily similar to the Vector, and instead of adding something that's similar to that, instead of adding the QJB, which is extraordinarily similar to the M249, just add like a really slow fire rate LMG that maybe has a slow time to kill, but it's like super duper mega accurate. And you could do that with everything, because there's no rifle that does that, there's no SMG that does that, there's no LMG that does that. And well, if you want to add a rifle, an SMG, and an LMG, which I think you do because that's what was added this season, then I would go for that. If you want to add a shotgun, I think a full auto shotgun would be cool. I don't want another pump or another semi-auto shotgun. You might as well add a full auto one, because that's something we don't currently have. So don't just add another pump shotgun. Add something full auto, because that would make a lot of sense and add variety, and it would be unique, which is what I like here. If you want to add a marksman rifle, I don't really know. I think marksman rifles would have to not suck in operations first for me to be able to think about that, because right now they're really just not good. Maybe something with a... I don't know about the marksman rifles, to be honest. And with the snipers, maybe something with a faster fire rate, but I suppose then that's just going to be a marksman rifle. Maybe a sniper that has some weird mechanic on it where, you know, if you headshot them, it does extra damage, or if you shoot them in the limbs, it does extra damage, or just some unique little mechanic like that, to make them a little bit worthwhile without taking away from the gameplay too much. So that's it. That's my rant over. I would like the guns to be more unique when they come to the game, because I'm not seeing any people use the new weapons in operations, because they're really just not worthwhile compared to what we already have in general. So there you go. That is the rant over. I guess I might as well showcase one of the new weapons. We'll showcase the SR9. That is the rant over. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, then leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.